Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today we're going to be talking about Rob Havenstein as part of this position series. We'll wrap up the starters for the offensive line with Havenstein, move on to the key backups, including guys like Noteboom, and of course, the recently drafted KT Leviston, and recently talked about Bo Limmer, as well as some other guys. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan. Let's get into it. So, Rob Havenstein in 2024 should be assumed to be just pretty much the same as he's been. A reliable, I call him old reliable, Big Rob at right tackle. Now, when you look at what the Rams have done all across the board on the offensive line, they've continued to upgrade. They obviously found a hidden gem, whether you like him or whether you don't, or whether you have your issues. You can't take anything away from Alec Jackson, who's gone from no draft pick whatsoever spent on him, a UDFA, into a starting caliber left tackle. Alec Jackson is now up over 340 pounds, and he's a big threat on the outside, protecting the blind side for Matthew Stafford. Athletic, he's got to get better in the run game, but he's great in pass protection. Then you have Jonah Jackson, who, if he stays healthy, this guy's going to be really good. An upgrade at left guard because you move Steve Avila, who's an upgrade at center, a natural center, a big center, right in the trenches there. Then you bring back Kevin Dotson. We saw how well he played in unison with Rob Havenstein last year. And now you have Rob Havenstein, who, look, he was drafted in 2015. He's been around for quite a bit. One of the last remaining, I believe he's currently the last remaining St. Louis Ram on the roster because Aaron Donald retired. So Rob Havenstein is the last remaining St. Louis Ram. And I'll tell you right now, Havenstein, has he gotten better with age? I think you could argue he has. This past year, according to PFF, he was third in run blocking grade among all tackles in the league, including Penei Sewell and Trent Williams, the only two that were ahead of him. In addition to that, Rob Havenstein this year, according to PFF, was 10th in pass protection efficiency rating. That is only behind Colton Miller, Anton Harrison, Laramie Tunsil, Tristan Wirfs, Caleb McGarry, Austin Jackson, Trent Williams, Tyron Smith, and Penei Sewell. So what is the point? What am I trying to say here? Well, the point I'm making is, you probably think Rob Havenstein is good. I think the consensus, right? The consensus Rams fan thinks Rob Havenstein is good. Not great, but good, at least. I would say he's better. I'd say he's a top 10 right tackle in football, probably top 5, maybe even a top 10 tackle in general. Because keep in mind, this isn't right tackle. This is 10th in pass protection efficiency rating for all tackles. And it was third in run blocking for all tackles. Only behind arguably the two best tackles in football in Penei Sewell and Trent Williams. Now I'll take a step further here. When you look at Rob Havenstein's pressures he gave up, only 23, and he only gave up 2 sacks. Penei Sewell gave up 1 sack. Tyron Smith gave up 1 sack, okay? Penei Sewell gave up 20 pressures. So 23 for Havenstein, 20 for Sewell, okay? Trent Williams, 18, didn't give up a sack. Austin Jackson, Caleb McGarry gave up 4 sacks. Tristan Wirfs gave up 5. Tunsil gave up 5. Anton Harrison gave up 5. Colton Miller gave up 4. So Havenstein, who did only play 14 out of the 17 games, worth noting, was still really, really good last year, had a 97.4 pass protection efficiency rating, according to PFF. So what do you take away from Havenstein? Well, he is getting up there in age, okay? I'm not going to say he's old. I don't want to offend anybody in the comment section. But he is 32, just turned 32 in May. And this is somebody, like I said, second round pick in 2015, 6'8", 330 pounds. What you have in Rob Havenstein is he's one of the best right tackles in football, one of the best guards in football. And I think it only adds to the pile when you have somebody playing, lights out in their best year possible in Kevin Dotson. So I'm very high on Rob Havenstein in 2024. And I think I'm very high on running to the right side of the offensive line in 2024. Say what you will about Jonah Jackson. Okay, that's going to be a huge upgrade at left tackle or left guard. And then left tackle, Alec Jackson, he'll get better as a run blocker. But you have the sure thing, okay? this is going to be a run to the right team. I'm telling you that right now. Doesn't mean that they're not going to run on the left side at all, but they're going to predominantly push the right side. Because when you have those three guys, Avila, who's great as a run blocker, Kevin Dotson, probably the best run blocking guard as of last year, and Rob Havenstein, we just talked about being the third best run blocking tackle, which would make him the best right tackle run blocking wise, according to PFF. So when you have those three guys, it makes it very, very easy to run the football. The run game is going to be a lot easier this year because of this. And I think the thing that's really exciting is we're going to get to see Kyren Williams not just get all of the snaps, get a moment to breathe a little bit. He played like the start of the season, like 98% of snaps, okay? Because clearly their plan going into last year was Cam Akers, Kyren Williams, 1-2 punch. Cam Akers did not get that through his head, thought he was going to be the guy, and so he was not a fan of the splitting the time. Well, unfortunately, the Rams didn't have anybody who was as good as Cam Akers to be that second guy. So you ended up with Kyren Williams being on the field the majority of the time. This year, however, they went out and they got Blake Corum, a guy that they trust, they really like. They're going to try and develop him. They really liked him. Scouting him, and he's played in big games. He's arguably the best running back in the country. So Blake Corum is going to be great because, yeah, okay, he has a similar skill set to Kyren Williams, but I think those two are going to be able to complement each other well. And I think by doing this, by having Blake Corum do his thing, you're going to keep Kyren Williams fresh. So I think there's going to be more productive outings for Kyren Williams and Blake Corum because they're going to keep them fresh. You're not just force feeding Kyren Williams. What you're doing is you're allowing him to get some breathers throughout the game and maximize those opportunities when he's on the field because he's going to have way more energy than he did last year. Because think about it, we're all human. We all fatigue. I don't care how incredibly talented or how incredibly fit or, conditioned your favorite athlete is. They bleed just like you and I. They sweat just like you and I. They cry just like you and I. And they fatigue just like you and I. And to have Kyren Williams have more help where you can bring in Corum for a drive and then switch it back to, Kyren, or if he just had a 50-yard run, you don't have to worry about the offense completely, coming to a halt. It's nothing against Ronnie Rivers or anybody like that. I know a lot of people really like Royce Freeman, but the reality is Corum, I think, is leaps and bounds better than both of them. And so I think now getting like a legitimate option there is really going to help. And of course, Rob Havenstein being at right tackle, helping on the outside runs, those stretch runs, even between the guard and the center, you don't have to worry about Havenstein getting blown up. So I'm really excited about it because, look, he's underrated. He's probably one of the more underrated players to walk through and don these horns. I've said it for a while. It's why I include him as a backup on that, that all Rams list. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he's been a model of consistency. He's been around for a while. He probably would have won multiple Pro Bowls had he been on the Rams back in the day with Eric Dickerson. The reality is the voting changed. And people don't just focus on an entire offensive line of who is the best rushing team. Havenstein should probably be a 4-time or 5-time Pro Bowler at this point, and he hasn't been. Okay, so I think he's great. I think the sacks obviously have hurt him, but when you look, especially as a run blocker, he's been excellent. He doesn't give up too many penalties. Only had 3 last year. And, end of the day, like he gave up 13 sacks the last 2 years before this upcoming year. He got it down to a career low 2, which was the lowest since 2018 when the Rams went to the Super Bowl. So, look, I'll be honest with you. I think the world of Rob Havenstein at right tackle. I think the Rams are very fortunate and lucky to have him. And while he is getting up there in age at 32 years old, I don't expect that to slow him down at all this year. Maybe when he starts getting closer to 35, 36, we'll start having that conversation if he's still on the team. But as of right now, I feel really good about Havenstein. I think he's going to help tremendously. And I think the Rams offense, whether it's throwing the ball or just running it, they are just going to have success every which way. So I'm very excited about that. End of the day, Rob Havenstein, one of the better tackles in the league, very underrated. And I think we'll just see more and more, of that in 2024. So those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about Havenstein. I am expecting it to be pretty, I don't know. I think, the majority of you guys like him. So I think it'd be favorable in the comment section, but we'll see what ends up happening. Next up, I'll do Joseph Noteboom. We'll talk about, how he's the sixth man of this offensive line and what he can provide off the bench. But that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, folks. Later. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.